What's up everybody, 40 the Broadway Saiyan here, and welcome back again to my YouTube channel with another video on Final Fantasy VII Evercrisis. This time we are going to be doing the top builds or the suggested builds for Red XIII. This was another requested one because a lot of you guys have been showing interest in Red XIII, aka Nanaki, and this is going to be top builds for him. Now before we move forward, I want to give a big shout out to my buddy Alkaiser again. If you guys don't know who he is, he helped me with the comprehensive Chocobo guide that I put out the day before this video, and for this one he's actually allowing me to showcase his account to you guys for Red XIII because quite honestly I don't have a lot of gear for Red XIII, but he does, and you don't need to match the rarity for these particular weapon setups for these characters, but he gladly allowed me to showcase his Red XIII and the builds that he's running that we've talked about that are going to be very optimum in terms of solo party and as well as co-op party. So thank you so much again to Alkaiser for giving me the ability to showcase Red XIII with your account. But let's go ahead and take a look at the different builds. We're gonna go ahead and start off with the solo party or the solo type of content that you're going to be using Red XIII in. So this is going to be your lightning support. So this is going to be running Seaside Collar as well as Platinum Collar. So Seaside Collar is pretty straightforward. A lot of you guys are running Cloud as your main DPS with Murasame, and if you got lucky, the Murasame costume. Lightning damage right now is super powerful, and with this particular weapon, with Red XIII in your party, anytime you're fighting an enemy that's already weak to lightning, and you're running Cloud, and you have this on top of it, you can expect an enormous amount of lightning damage being dealt. There is something that I want to point out though, is that the lightning resist down only works on enemies that are unfortunately already weak to lightning. So it's not like you can just place the weakness element on an enemy that doesn't have it. A little unfortunate that that's how the mechanic works, but it is what it is. This is still an amazing weapon for Red XIII to use in terms of supporting Cloud. Not only that, but he gets a little bit of an HP boost as well as boost lightning potency, which is good if you're going to be running, let's say, like another thunder type of an attack materia on him. And then afterwards, the second one is very self-explanatory. Platinum Collar is actually a pretty good sub weapon for him because he has a magic heal that is AoE, and he also applies regen. And regen in this game, especially for DPS race fights, for example like the Shiva fight or the Astral Giant fight where they're constantly spamming all these attacks on you, that heal can actually come in handy. That regen can actually come in handy. Not only that, but he does get a boost heal, which is good, and also a boost crit potency from the reinforcement ability. So very, very powerful setup in terms of this particular build. In terms of costume, if you have access to this one, this is probably going to be your best one. It gives him more physical attack and also more HP. HP becoming more and more important during the latter parts of the game. And then finally, with his limit break, you're going to want to go with Sled Fang for this one. So Sled Fang is really strong. Actually, both his limit breaks are really good, but Sled Fang in particular charges very quickly, just like Tifa's, and it applies a physical attack and a magic attack down mid. So it's a little weaker than Lucia's, but it charges a lot faster because Lucia has something similar that does a lot more damage and has the high potency on these debuffs. This one is mid, but it's fast. So you're going to get this one a lot faster, and you could use this one a lot more often, which is really, really good. And then finally, for the sub-equips for this one, you're just focusing straight up on a lot of HP and defense. You already get enough offense from the other gear, so you're just focusing a ton of HP and a lot of different ways to just keep survivability on this, you know, supportive type version for Red XIII. So this is going to be the lightning support build. We're going to go ahead and take a look at another fantastic build for Red XIII. So this one is magic support. With this one on your main hand, you're going to run the gold collar. This allows him to, you know, use an AoE magic non-elemental damage on all enemies, and you also get the magic defense down debuff, which is very, very useful, especially if you have, for example, a powerful magic damage dealer, such as, for example, Aerith is a really good magic damage dealer, Zac is a really good magic damage dealer, even Tifa has some really solid magic options. So this is going to support them. It's also going to give some boosted magic attack for Red XIII and Earth Resist. And then the sub weapon that you're going to want to use for this one is going to be that Platinum Collar again. You can't go wrong with that small AoE heal and that AoE regen. Very, very good. For this one, you're going to want to run Sled Fang, so you got more debuff access for Red 13. And then afterwards, the materia is interesting on this one because you're running all 3 of the breaches. So if you happen to have an element that one of your characters has that coincides with this, for example, Cloud, with the Murasame, then you can you know rely on one of those breaches to further have that enemy be weak to that element. And then same thing with the other build, focus on a lot of HP as in terms of your sub-weapons. So then, since he is support, you're going to give him a lot of survivability with this build. The last solo build that is recommended is going to be this one. This is going to be the fire damage dealing Red 13. So he does have access to a fire physical weapon, which gives him boost attack and boost fire potency. This is pretty cool if you want to run him as like your fire attacker or like your main DPS with fire. And then afterwards, for his other weapon, you're going to want the junk collar, so he has access to a magic attack down debuff. For his particular limit, you're actually going to want to go with Hellfire for Ifrit if you have that built. If you don't, you could opt to go with Sled Fang, but if you have Ifrit, might as well, since this is a fire-based build for Red 13. And then for his sub-equipment, you're going to want to go with Crew Kicker because Crew Kicker gives you HP and fire potency. You're going to want to go with Crystal Sword Z because you get a boost in attack to physical and magic and more fire potency. And then you're going to want to go with Heavy Hauser for the boost attack for both magic and physical, and also boost ability potency, which gives you more damage dealt during your attack stance at max if you're using, you know, one of your attacking abilities. So this is going to be the setup that you want to go for sub weapons for this particular build. So this is going to be the solo builds, and now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the co-op builds for Red 13. So I'm going to scroll through here. All right. So this one, you're going to be running the fire damage on Red 13, but instead of running the Platinum Collar or the Gold Collar, you're going to want to run the Seaside Collar. Reason being is, guess who shows up a lot during co-ops? Cloud with Murasame. That'll definitely change when a certain silver-haired character comes out that was already teased. But for now, you're going to see a ton of Clouds running that build, so this is going to help support those Clouds damage, while you are also doing damage yourself with the fire damage. You're going to be equipping Ifrit, you know, with Hellfire if you have access to it. And then for your weapons, Crystal Sword Z again, Crew Kicker, and then the Maritime Sword. I think for the Maritime Sword for more physical attack. So you want more physical attack on this particular build, so that's why you're running this. The boost water potency can help you if you're running, like, for example, if you need to run, you know, Watera Blow or something like that. But we're more so equipping this because of the boost physical attack. All right, the next build for co-op is going to be the Thunder support. Again, Cloud, you're going to see him a lot. So this one runs Seaside Collar. We already know what that does. But instead of running another like heal, you're going to be running a debuff, which is going to be the Junk Collar, giving you that magic attack down debuff. And then instead of running his other limit break, you're going to run Lunatic High, which is a very powerful limit break because it does an AoE heal. It's not that strong of a heal, but you also get physical defense and magic defense increase at a mid potency to all of your allies. And this is very strong, especially if you don't have any debuffs, or let's say you can't inflict a debuff and you need some sort of a way to protect your party from incoming damage. This is a great limit break for that. He actually has some of the best limit breaks in terms of utility, and my thoughts about this character have changed drastically. Now for his sub-weapons, you're going to want to go with W Machine because he's going to get more physical attack, and then he gets that nice boost lightning resist in case like you're fighting against Ramuh with this setup. Heavy Hauser, self-explanatory, boost the damage for both his magic and his physical with the boost ability potency and boost attack. And then finally, Apology in Hell, which has the highest attack stat in the game, if I'm not mistaken, will give you a bit more offense there. And then you also get a boost ice resist for this particular build. Okay, and then the last co-op build that we're going to show off for Red 13 is going to be just a support build, a straight-up support build, okay? So this one is going to run the Platinum Collar. You got your heal, AoE, you got your regen, keeping your party members alive. You're also running Eternal Storm, which is the one that inflicts non-elemental AoE damage, but magic damage, but it also has that magic defense down debuff on all enemies, so it supports the offensive capabilities of your magic damage dealers. You're running all 3 of the breaches in terms of materia, and then you're running Sled Fang, because Sled Fang is we've already explained how good this is. It's fast. It also gets you out of a pinch by debuffing the enemy's physical and magic attack at a mid potency. And then in terms of your sub weapons, you're going to be wanting to increase his magic just a little bit so that his Eternal Storm is hitting harder. So you're giving him the Sun Umbrella, which is currently available right now on the banner. You're also giving him the Wizard Staff, which gives him more magic attack and also boosts lightning potency if you are running some sort of like a lightning attack on him. And then afterwards, Seaside Collar, just for more HP, more survivability. That way, Red 13 is staying alive and is able to do his job to support your party while also providing offensive support. So this is going to go ahead and conclude all the different top or recommended builds for Red 13 in terms of solo and co-op. Thank you once again to my good friend Alkaiser for allowing me to create this video using his account and showing off the builds that he has for Red 13. Thank you so much again for that, Alkaiser. Be sure to check him out. He's actually really active on my Discord. If you guys join my Discord in the comments section in the video description, he's really helpful to all players. He hosts a lot of co-op, so thank you once again for your help, Alkaiser. All right, guys, stay tuned for the next video and stay blessed, everybody.